Welcome back to our Gavel to Gavel coverage of New York versus Harvey Weinstein. Juda Engelmayer is joining us again. Harvey Weinstein's publicist. Okay, I need someone to yell at today because last night you promised me
I didn't promise you. I gave you a list of suggested.
You promised a lot of witnesses. So let's talk about.
I gave you a list of suggested witnesses, and I did say that things can change.
Okay, what happened? So let's go one by one. Denise Doyle was a former Miramax employee.
So there are several people we ultimately couldn't get to in time, couldn't arrange their flights, couldn't arrange their travel for various different reasons, and the judge gave us a deadline on the schedule, and we had to fit things in. We had to determine what was right and what was necessary and what we couldn't cut off.
Well, the idea of scheduling in a case when someone is facing life in prison seems ridiculous, frankly. What's the rush?
It does.
And he's out.
It does, but the issue is not just scheduling and whether you put it off another day or so. It's whether or not some things are plausible. Some of these people are not necessarily responding to the subpoenas.
Okay.
They're dragging it out, making it obvious that they're either not going to participate easily or not participate the way we want, which means that there's someone we might not need.
Has the judge signed all the subpoenas defense asked for? Has there ever been much of an argument?
I mean, I from what I heard yesterday, the judge did sign
Okay.
some of them.
All right, so at least he's complying with that. Now, Stephanie Andro, was she supposed to impeach a Molyneux witness?
There's something about Stephanie was a friend of Jessica's, I believe. But
yeah, you don't have to worry about Jessica.
There were transportation issues.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We could let Jessica Mann go. I mean, I don't think we have to worry about Jessica
And
Mann.
Kevin Wilson, there was a stipulation signed between both of them. They both agreed to the stipulation.
Oh, what was that stipulation? You know, Kevin Wilson was a
DA. He's an ADA.
A very great DA.
So instead of having him testify, I think the prosecution and defense agreed to a stipulation on what he said or what he was going to say, and that has to do with something to do with the investigation and it wasn't just agreed upon. It was simple.
Okay. And so there was Stephanie Andro, Kevin Wilson. Who else did I have on my list? Oh, Warren Light, who was a director of The Night We Never Met.
Right. So I don't know, honestly, I don't know what happened with that.
Okay.
He was supposed to testify, and then because the time frame in which the one before him went a little too long, and we couldn't maintain him the day after. I don't really know what
Are you concerned that without his testimony, the case will suffer?
You say that with a straight face. No. I believe that the defense decided that with what they had was what we need.
Okay, so now, Harvey Weinstein, will he or won't he? Right. That was my morning. You know, let me tell you something. Vinny and I, so Vinny Politan, he's at our worldwide headquarters at an undisclosed location, and he's in he's in the studio recording the podcast, and I'm waiting to hear if Harvey Weinstein's going to testify. So we're recording and he's yelling at me because I'm not paying attention to the podcast because this is more important. So what happened? I heard 10 people went in the room, including Sergio.
So
why isn't Sergio ever coming on the show?
Have you asked Sergio?
Well, yeah, I'm asking now.
Okay.
Sergio, you're welcome. Come on the show.
So Harvey, like I've been telling you, was ready to testify and wants to tell a story. He wants to get it out there. But after discussion with his attorneys and after realizing and hearing the testimony and what the prosecution put forward, ultimately it's the benefits, the risks. Harvey decided in the end that this wasn't the right time or forum for it, and he didn't need to do it.
Was Harvey at a different place, let's say last night, than he was this morning in terms of testifying?
Listen, there's always Harvey's always in his mind. He wants to get out there and talk. He wants to get out there and say, "Let me set the record straight." So in a sense, he wants to, but there's a time and place for it, and we didn't need to, and he ultimately realized that.
He was comfortable with the decision.
He was comfortable with the decision, and he understood that the prosecution, in our estimation, in the lawyer's estimation, has not proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. We think that the burden of proof is on them, and they haven't been able to raise that burden. And Harvey's like, why is he going to put himself out there and open himself up to more questions, potential more rebuttal? Who knows what else comes afterwards? And I think he decided this was the right move.
Speaking of rebuttal, was there an argument to call rebuttal witnesses that we didn't hear about? Because we know that there was the rebuttal stipulations that were all entered into evidence, but was there more argument with respect to, did they want other witnesses?
Ultimately, I think the judge also was setting a time frame, a time limit on that, and I think he made that clear a few days ago when he went over with both sides on what they can and can't do. And when he asked Ms. Aluzzi about the rebuttal, he gave her a limitation on time, and I think they probably thought this was their best move. But as Mr. Cheronis said in court when they were trying to put these stipulations in about emails, he said, you know what, in the end, let them do it. It's not going to mean anything. This is the best they have. You know.
Okay, so they stipulated. So, and was the Walker argument, was that really a valid argument, or is Damon?
Who's valid argument? Valid
Damon's.
Argument? Oh, I mean, I thought you were asking,
Like
was
to
it
call-
Jones? Is it
to-
Jones'
no,
valid
to call,
argument?
No, I meant to call the doctor.
Listen,
like, do we really need the doctor to come in?
I think it is important, and I'll tell you why. Because Joan has made a very big point of saying that Harvey's faking it. He kept on showing pictures of
Not in front of the jury.
He kept on showing older pictures of Harvey, younger, heavier, and more, and looking more dominating. And he wants the jury to know that this man in front of you with a walker is not the same man. And she believes it's a prop, and she was yelling today about it being a prop, saying that he walks up and down the aisles, which is not true.
No, it's not true. I know.
A patent lie. Just she did that just for the media to hear in the background. But for her, it's important because she thinks the jury is going to see it and go, this guy couldn't have done it. For Damon, he's saying, you guys are making a mountain out of a molehill. This guy needs a walker right now.
They should have just stipulated to like a doctor's note or some medical records. Well, that's easy. He was in the hospital for what, 4 or 5 days? Just put it in.
The prosecution didn't want to stipulate to anything on that. They want the walker to be out of the room.
You know what? You should have gotten into evidence that picture of Harvey with the reporter in the New York Post. Remember how you talked to the New York Post?
You
let Harvey talk to the New York Post.
So it's funny you say
and
that.
Not CourtTV.
It's funny you say that.
And I'm still holding it against you, Judah. Not happy.
It's funny you say that because
Hysterical.
if we believe that the justice system really works, then the jury never would have seen that. Didn't look at that either.
Okay, we have to take a break now, but will you come back tomorrow, please, and give us a preview of the closing arguments, which I'm sure you will write?
I would be honored to, yes.
Okay, and listen, good luck. I know you guys you're working very hard. Good luck. Okay, coming up next, we'll get you back into court in Florida versus Michael Keatley.